I show up home from work that evening, and I park my truck in the driveway. My son come out to the house, and he's like, something happened to Natalia at the school. She fell, she hit her head, she's crying. I drove over there. When I got there, my daughter's crying, loud, a lot of pain. She couldn't move her legs, neither one. She keeps saying over and over, I can't feel my legs. And I keep asking to her, what happened? She looked at me like she was like lost. She's like, I don't know what happened.
I'm like, how did I get here? Like, what's going on? I was like, I don't remember anything. Everything's blank.
It was very clear that this girl was on the sidewalk and that a car left the roadway and struck her.
We had tire track marks, impressions. A motor vehicle had went up and over the curb, straddled the sidewalk, and then eventually came back down on the traveled portion of the road.
We learned Nicole Poole was 42 years old. She lived in the Des Moines metro area.
In the still photo, she was at the front door knocking on the door, but we didn't have any video after that.
According to talking to her ex-husband, she was there to see her daughter.
The time of her being in the area was right. We had to find this Nikki Poole, and we needed to get her in for an interview.
We had found out several days later that she was in the Polk County Jail.
Nikki Poole had gone to a convenience store in West Des Moines. She was clearly either under the influence or having some sort of mental health episode at the time.
Natalia thought the vehicle that ran over her, it was a dark-colored Jeep, and she thought it was a female driving the vehicle.
I authored a search warrant to search that vehicle. It looked like there was a shoe print mark on the passenger side door.
And the dirt that was on the car, it looked like impressions from clothing, like that pattern had been impressed into the side of the car. That really started to bring Nicole into the picture as the suspect.
I figured Nicole Poole would not answer any of our questions. I figured she'd just sit there and say, no, I want an attorney. So we went in there with a more relaxed approach.
So I know you were there getting gas. All that. What happened? What did you do before that? Remember? Yeah, what were you driving? What color was that? Black. Okay. So what did you do next?
I left. I ran over her.
You ran over her on accident?
I was just in awe. I kind of had to pause there for a second and try to get my composure.
Oh my gosh, she just admitted she ran somebody over.
Do you remember what she looked like? Before she was Mexican, did you know that she was Mexican when you were approaching her? Yeah, when we saw her face, I did.
Because why didn't you stop? I'm just asking.
I was having anxiety that day, just thinking that she was trying to take over homes and just.
Okay. It's like taking over. What do you mean by taking over homes?
Taking over homes. Yeah. She was taking over her jobs.
Okay.
Her homes and her jobs.
She keeps throwing out Mexican, taking our jobs, taking our homes. At that point, I knew it was way more serious than what I thought it was. It was a hate crime.
When you went over the curb, did you accelerate? Did you step on the gas?
Yeah.
Did you do it because she was Hispanic? Did that happen? You did? Okay. Were you hoping that you were actually kill that person?
Yes.
At that time, yes, at that time. Is that right? Yes.
When we walked out of the jail, we were both kind of in shock.
Being a minority, I promise you, it hits home.
Our investigators heard from the Des Moines Police Department that they were investigating a case where a car had gone up onto the sidewalk and a child had been hit by a car.
And she was the person that did that. We have a single incident, but it just expanded and blossomed into this huge, pattern of activity that she was doing on the whole west side of Des Moines.
I really fear that if she had not been stopped at that point, that there may have been other victims in other ways. It's really disheartening to see where you can take that rage and turn that toward children who've never done anything to you, who are just walking down the sidewalk, as all of our community's kids do every day. This behavior is not acceptable anywhere, especially in Clive.
It was kind of a relief for us. Oh, great, they did it. They found who did it. But then when they give the notice why she did it, that was heartbreaking.
I was just in a state of shock. I didn't know whether to cry or to scream or to just run away. I knew there was racism in the world, but I never knew that it would happen to me, 2 blocks away from my house.
My wife and I, we had the idea to leave the country forever, but no one is going to push me away. We stayed to prove our kids that they belong here. We can't live in fear, and we can't let that destroy my family.
Nobody knew where he was. We knew something was wrong right away.
I don't know where he's at.
What did you do with him after that? Enough is enough.
My brother Robert and I religiously spoke every week. There was instances where every day we would reach out to each other, but early December of '08, I stopped hearing from him. We knew something was wrong right away. There was no question.
I kept calling and I got no answer. I said he would have got back to me by now.
We were trying to find him everywhere, like any other family would do in panic mode, especially being thousands of miles away. But nobody knew where he was. He basically fell off the face of the earth. My sister, more than myself, started calling his roommate at the time, Daniel Alexander, and saying, hey, he was living with you. Where is he? What's going on?
He said, yes, he was here, but he's not anymore. I said, well, I know that, but I'm trying to find him. And he kept saying, no, I don't really know, nothing really. And that was it.
And at that point, it just started snowballing into this bigger Rob's missing.
We waited about 5 days, and we called the police, put the missing persons report in, and we got the case going.
Those records showed he had not used either since January 16th, 2009.
Robert's family told us that prior to him going missing, Robert's mother had passed away, and he inherited roughly $50,000.
Once the money was deposited from his mother's inheritance, he was making, if not daily, every other day withdrawals from his account. So when he was no longer withdrawing money, that does not look good.
You're the roommate of our missing guy, Robert Harrison. You're one of the last people to see him. Can you just start out on how you met him?
I met him through a friend of mine. He called me on the phone one day and you know, told me that he got kicked out of the place he was at. I said, you know, you can come crash on my couch for a couple weeks.
Did he live with you when his mom died?
Yeah.
Did he tell you how much his inheritance was?
No.
Did he tell you he was moving, he got a place, or how did it happen?
At first, no. I came home and almost all his stuff was gone, so it was a surprise. I was like, oop, he must have found a place. 1 to 2 days later, he came back, and that's when he came back in the black Mercedes with the girl and picked up the remainder of the stuff.
It wasn't making sense to us that Robert had just left his truck and left with a female in a Mercedes. We're thinking that Daniel wasn't being upfront and honest. The trailer itself was run down, but it looked like it was being freshly renovated, and we're seeing new flooring, fresh paint. Also, there was a pawn slip where Daniel had recently pawned a guitar and an amp. That does not look good.
A friend of Daniel, Larry Kelly, he had information that Daniel admitted to him that he had killed Robert.
He explained that Daniel enlisted the help of his brothers, Donald Gould and Kenneth Alexander. He claimed that his brothers knew where the body was.
First of all, I told them that he was freaked out around this and that. Yep. Now that's why he left his truck there with me. Now, it wouldn't hurt if you said something to corroborate my story good. You know what I mean? I tore my carpet out. I tore the whole floor out, and I went up and down that trailer 9 times, cleaning that up. There ain't no way they didn't find.
We don't want them talking to each other and letting each other know that they were talked to, and to come up with a story. By the time my unit was taking Kenneth Alexander into custody, I was on my way to the station to interview Donald Gould. Donald was agitated. We didn't really have a whole lot of time to build a rapport, so we decided to inform him why he was there and give him the opportunity to help himself by telling us what he knew.
I have no idea where the guy is. I thought Dan told me that he didn't kill the guy. That's what he told me. He told me the guy left with some girl in a car.
Well, that's what he told everybody.
That's what he told me.
That's what he told everybody. The same to the police.
Some people come off angry and demanding because they want you to be in fear of them and stop talking to them. And some people had nothing to do with it, and they want you to believe them.
That's it, man. I didn't hide nobody. I didn't see him shoot nobody. I don't even know if he shot nobody or how he killed this guy. Listen, I'll tell you right now, he was around one day and said that, probably dead or this and that, I even told my girlfriend that he was telling me this news. I said, the guy's been missing. And I said, you didn't kill the guy. He said, oh, yeah, right. I killed him and buried his body out here. He just kind of acted like, he was around with me. Then he started laughing, like he didn't do it,
Kenny, again.
I don't know where he's at. I don't know where
What did he tell you?
They were in the kitchen. They were fighting. He said he hit him with a frying pan, and I guess he got a kitchen knife out of the kitchen or something, and finished him off.
What did he do with him? Because obviously he's been missing for...
And don't sit and tell us. I have no idea.
Don't sit and tell us that you didn't say to him. What did you do with him after that?
He said he took him out in the woods and buried him, but I have no idea what that is.
All right, knowing Danny, would he feel safe if it was on the property or down the street?
It wouldn't make sense to leave him on the property. Maybe.
Yeah, but he knows the property.
Yeah, he knows the property like the back of his hand, I guess.
Did he say when he did this?
Not exactly.
I've been doing this for 20 years, okay? Believe me when I say this.
You get in a truck with me, you can get in a truck with him, drive him to where the body's at, and you go home.
I'm giving you my word, bro, right now. That's all I can give you is my word. That's all I have to give you is my word. Tell me the truth and take me there, because if you continue to lie to Detective Boyle and he proves you were there, then you're an accessory. Right now, you're not.
Well, let's go.
Right now, you're a witness.
I'll show you where it's at. Let's go.
All right.
Immediately, Randall Anderson drove Kenneth to the scene.
In the meantime, we wanted to talk to Daniel because there is a ticking clock. If he says, I'm not talking to you anymore, we're done. So we decided to start this interview, bluffing that we had the body.
We located Robert.
You did?
Yeah.
Kenneth drove us to the body.
Did you kill Robert?
No. Just not understanding, Ken. I just don't understand. I had asked him to leave.
Right.
I mean, pack up his stuff and you need to go.
Right.
He ran over and got in my face and said, I'm not going anywhere. I don't know how we struggled around and rolled over, but I ended up getting a hold of his hand, and as we fell to the floor, it jabbed him. He was kind of laying there bleeding, and I hopped up and hauled ass, man, because dude, I was scared, man. I was really scared.
I would too.
Stuck him in the bathtub for a little while.
Right. How long was he in the bathtub for?
Say 2 days.
Okay.
A couple days go by, what'd you do with him out of the tub?
I had to do something, so I got scared and I went and buried the body.
I left the room because they had to have made some progress finding Robert's body. So I left the room to go find out any updates. I talked to the investigative team that went with Kenneth out to the burial site, and they advised they had found a shallow grave. Once I learned they found the body, that gave me the upper hand in the next part of our interrogation.
I just want you to know that we're not calling your bluff.
Yeah, no,
That's my biggest thing. I don't want you to think we're lying to you, that we know.
Who cut him up?
I did.
What'd you use to cut him up?
Knife. Pretty much dismembered him.
At what point did you call Kenneth?
That wasn't until a week or two later. I think I told him what happened. I said that I'm in trouble and I just need this favor. Help me load it up and drag it off.
Daniel Alexander was found guilty of second-degree murder. He was sentenced to life in prison, and he received an additional 15 years for abuse of a body. Charges were not filed against Donald Gould and Kenneth Alexander.
I just got home, my back door is kicked in, and my girl ain't answering the phone.
Okay, what's your name?
My name's Christopher Jackson. My son's inside with her and everything. I'm about to go in and see what the is going on.
When officers arrived on scene, they saw Christopher Jackson standing in the driveway. He was upset, very anxious.
Chris stated that his fiance, Angela, was inside the house, and also their young son, he believed was still in the house.
You could just see the look on Chris's face, that he knew something was wrong and he was fearing the worst.
The officers made their way into a living room area. They did not notice anything that would be considered out of the ordinary.
They went down the hallway where they found 2 bedrooms. One was locked. They searched the other room across the hall, and that's where they found the young child inside of his crib. He appeared to have been sleeping. He wasn't harmed. He seemed in good condition. One of the officers picked up the child and took him outside and brought him to his father.
After that was completed is when we prepared to enter through the locked door. I stood next to the door while another officer kicked the door open.
They could see a large bed, and as you walked in, you could immediately see that there was blood on the bed.
As I turned the corner between the bed and the wall, I saw a younger white female laying on the floor. She was laying on her back, appeared to be wearing sleeping clothes, covered in blood.
The victim was Angela Wilder, and that she was in fact deceased.
Where do you work at?
Walmart.
Walmart? Okay. What do you do at Walmart?
Stock.
Okay. So walk me through what happened this morning.
I always call her on break.
Okay.
Just to see how she's doing. Just to talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Because I work nights.
What time's break?
Break is 5.
Did you call her at 5?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did that call go?
It didn't. I figured, okay, she's just tired. But she always picks up whenever I call her.
What time does she usually pick you up from work?
She's usually there about 7, and she's not out there this morning. So I call a taxi, I get to the house, so I walk around back, and the door is open. And something in my stomach just felt wrong.
We contacted his employer. We were able to get the video of all the cameras in the business. And we were able to confirm that Chris never left his job that night. My initial gut feeling at that point was that he probably was not the one who murdered Angela.
So last time you were in the house was when you left for work last night?
Yes, ma'am.
Who would harm Angela, if that's the case?
Richie.
Chris told us that Richie Wilder was Angela Wilder's ex-husband. They also shared a biological child together, as well as Angela's firstborn child was adopted by Richie while they were married, and they shared custody of the children.
What happened to your face?
Right
You got
here.
a scratch in your face.
That's from a kid.
One of the first things everybody noticed was he had a small scratch under one of his eyes, which appeared to be pretty fresh, which kind of hyped up everybody's senses right away.
That happened yesterday.
Okay, tell me about the scenario of what you guys were doing when that happened.
I could see his brain working when I asked him about the scratch. You could tell that he's uncomfortable explaining this, and he keeps falling back on a memory, I believe, of him wrestling with his son. And that was a huge red flag for us.
Okay. Did you work last night?
From 7 to 11, yes, ma'am.
And you were at Trinity that whole time?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you go after you left work?
Straight home.
Can anybody tell us what time you got home?
Cindy?
Cindy can? Okay. Did you ever leave to go anywhere in the middle of the night?
No,
Have you ever been inside her house?
no, sir.
Have you ever made statements to Angela about taking the kids away from her?
What did that cost between the two of you then? Did you hurt her?
No.
Did you kill her?
No.
No?
No.
She confirmed that, Richie came right home from work. She claimed that she woke up in the middle of the night. He was still in bed beside her. He was there all night. We suspected that she might have been covering for Richie, but she didn't seem all that concerned that Angela was dead and that she'd been murdered. It was just strange.
When the crime scene team processed the Honda Pilot, one of the crime scene officers located a small dot on the passenger door. It was dark brown in color and smaller than a pencil eraser.
It came back as human blood. So we sent the blood in for DNA testing.
At that point, it becomes a waiting game.
Richie worked in a local hospital, and they found out rather quickly that Richie was very popular with some of the female coworkers.
Richie was having affairs with different women throughout the hospital. He really wasn't the greatest guy when it came to how he would treat women, but that doesn't help us build our case against him as a murderer. About a month after the murder, we did receive a call from the North Dakota State Crime Lab. They told us that the swab taken from the Honda Pilot was Angela Wilder's blood.
That was the breaking moment in this case. Took him to the police department, and Richie lawyered up. He wasn't going to talk to us anymore.
The Minot Police Department received a call in March of 2017 from a Matt Walters.
He'd said that he has possible information about the murder of Angela Wilder.
We called him just to see if this was really true.
She heavily insinuated through Facebook messages that she was involved in the murder that her husband committed.
Would you be able to send me all those messages?
Yeah, I can screenshot them and send them to you. Immediately after that, she says, it wasn't supposed to be a knife, and you were the only person I have said anything to. That one really raised the hair on the back of my neck.
We knew that this was our chance to hold her responsible for the role that she played.
I don't know. I'm just mad all the time, and I don't know why.
About what?
I don't know. That's the problem.
Are you mad at your husband?
No, like I'm proud of him. I'm just pissed that he got caught and that he got sloppy and impatient, and I thought we were like in the clear. Like I helped him. Like I would leave, like when he worked nights, I would leave the house at like midnight and like sit outside her house in my vehicle seeing who came into the house. Yeah, we had this planned out, and he it up.
I mean, how did he, like...
Because he didn't clean the car good enough. One spot of blood in my car. He just has, like, so much anger towards her. That's why he couldn't just do one jab to the jugular and get out. No, he like, went psycho on her.
It was ultimate justice. It's kind of karma coming back and biting her. She was 100% involved in this murder, and she, fortunately, spilled it all to the wrong person.
Cynthia Wilder was sentenced today in a hearing where the judge went well beyond the recommendations of both the defense and prosecution.
You were the one person who could have intervened. You were the one person who could have spared Angela Wilder's life. You chose not to do so.
The life in prison sentence with no parole is the exact same sentence that her husband Richie Wilder is now serving for killing Angela Wilder.
It was an awesome feeling knowing that we were going to get further justice for Angela Wilder and put behind bars everybody who's responsible for her not being here today.
Calling 911, where's your emergency?
I need an emergency right now. The shooting at the corner store next to CVS.
Okay, do you know if anyone's been hit?
Dave's hit. Get an ambulance here now.
We are. Who was hit?
Some young man.
So
he's bleeding to death. Somebody just shot this kid 3 times.
Okay, we got everyone en route to him right now.
This guy's dying. I'm not kidding you. The guy is dying.
The victim was eventually identified by his identification being found in his wallet as Joseph Edward Ross. He was eventually transported to the hospital where he passed.
Our crime scene comes, takes photographs, really documents what's going on. Because there is a lot of activity, crowds start developing. So we start going up to those crowds. Hey, did you see what happened? Did you hear what happened?
The witness at the scene observed the victim walking through the parking lot, talking on a phone and arguing. And shortly thereafter, they observed a red Dodge pickup truck pull into the parking lot.
Do you have any idea why we might be here? Okay, your brother Joe was shot and killed around the corner, over at the corner store.
He was shot?
Yes. We're trying to find out what happened to him. Do you know anybody that drives like a red Dodge pickup truck?
Well, my friend Nick does.
Who's Nick?
It's just someone that I met through a friend.
What does he look like? Is he white or black?
He's white.
Okay.
And he always hangs out with a black dude.
Do you know the black male's name?
I think it's Gerald.
What else do you know about Nick?
He normally carries a 38 or a 9mm.
Has he ever gotten into it with your brother before?
They argue about a lot of stupid stuff. Nick's really, he seems like he's crazy. I wouldn't really want to mess with him.
Jonathan Ross said Nicholas Nehring was 23 years old, a small-time drug dealer who was out of work. All the links with the red Dodge pickup truck, the history between the two of them, the subject being armed on a regular basis, it obviously then at that point propelled Nicholas Nehring to being the suspect that we were looking for.
Before we entered the room to interview Nick, he was sleeping.
This referred to as the perp nap. Someone who's typically guilty will actually fall asleep in the interrogation room because they're so exhausted from the stress associated with waiting to be arrested.
Nick, right? Yes, sir. Doing well. I'm Detective Barnett. This is Detective Parsons. Okay. I'm going to sleep. That happens. It's okay. Do you have any idea what this is about?
No, I don't know. It's gunpoint, got on the car, got out of the car.
Yeah, but do you know what, anything that, do you have an idea what led up to that?
No.
Now, when you were stopped, you had a couple of guns on you?
Mm-hmm. I was going to go to shooting range. I just turned the corner, and the lights went on.
Okay. Well, while we're here, we're investigating something that happened earlier tonight. And we're wondering if you could tell us what happened tonight with you.
Well, midnight. I was at home for the longest time.
Is there any reason that your truck would have been at the CVS around the corner tonight?
No. It shouldn't have been.
Then how was it there?
I don't know.
The reason that it was there is because something happened there. Okay?
He's very engaged right now. He's up at the table, he's close in, he's in a very strong position. And at first, I'm back, so I move in to show that I also have a very firm position in my assertion that his vehicle's there. If it seems as though I'm not sure, he'll take that and he'll run with it. And that allows him to have an escape.
You had 3 guns on you tonight.
Yeah, one person, yeah.
You fire any of them tonight?
No.
Okay. Well, let's just say, for example, that maybe it's not one of the 3 that you had on you. It doesn't alleviate the fact that you were there when shots are fired.
No way.
You were involved in something tonight at that location, and I'd like to hear your side of what happened there.
When he's feeling threatened, he starts to back up. And the hand that he's able to actually goes into his pocket. So it's another defense mechanism that he's using where he's hiding and concealing what actually happened.
You can choose to be deceptive all you want, okay?
I have no reason to be on this side of town.
Let me point something out to you. This thing is that you were there because people wrote down the tag number of your truck there, okay?
No, the truck shouldn't have been there. Wasn't in my possession.
It was there.
Wasn't in my possession though.
But you were there.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, you were.
How do you know that?
Video cameras.
Did you see me in my vehicle?
You're kind of distinct.
So I'm guessing that thing had full video around the whole camera, around the whole store?
I'm not telling you there's video everywhere, because there's not.
At that point, I didn't have video of the shooting, but he's nodding, because now he believes it. So with him, I felt comfortable throwing out the bluff in such a way because I didn't think he was going to call me on it, and I thought he would accept it.
I lost him. That explains why it comes right in my ass. Does lying help you?
Lying will do me
Then stop it. Why did you do what you did?
But the truth.
Yes.
Motherfucker's a okay? That's straight up honesty. Motherfucker's a okay? He deserved it. He reached for nothing. Shot the motherfucker's face. He made a noise. I shot him. No mine, I said.
His true face comes out, and it comes out in grand fashion.
We were speechless. He just didn't care. It was pure evil.
They're like, damn consequences be need to do this. Yeah, you right. I up because I used my truck and the camera.
From the very beginning of this investigation, it was a whodunit. And within hours, we had the suspect in custody, we had a confession, we had him charged, and he was on his way to jail. Nick Nehring was sentenced to life in prison. That confession showed that he planned to kill Joseph from the very beginning. And it showed his mindset that he did not care.
There's no chance of Nick getting out ever. He'll die in prison, and that's probably best because I do believe that he would kill again if he had the chance.
Oh, have mercy. Ooh, wee, Lord.
Lighter fluid was placed into his mouth, and he burned to death.
It was Thanksgiving Day. I remember buckling in my son in his car seat, and next thing we know, that house right across the street from us is smoking a whole lot. So I immediately called 911.
Is this the Brownlee house?
Yeah.
We arrived at the fire scene within minutes of 911 call. I witnessed 2 windows that had been breached, smoke coming out of them, smoke coming from the roof.
My family, they come outside, and I remember hearing that somebody was indeed in the house.
They went in searching for the victim, trying to search thoroughly each room and bedroom for occupants. They searched the house until they made it to a bedroom. They found the victim in the bed. He was in the room with the fire was breaching out of the windows. He was within 10 feet of those windows. The bed was heavily consumed with fire. It was clear that he had passed away.
Me being from West Point, I just knew William Brownlee to be a respectful person. He was a church-going guy. He was 62 years of age. He had multiple sclerosis.
William Brownlee Sr., he lived there with his daughter-in-law, Latoria, and his son, William Brownlee Jr. William Brownlee Sr. was bedridden, and they both were taking care of him because of some health issues he had going on at the time.
I had never smelled someone burning. It is an indescribable smell, like you just couldn't even imagine. From the bed to where Mr. Brownlee laid and the wall right above his head, all of it was heavily burned, way worse from how it was on the other side of the room. The outlet, it was very heavily burned.
That seems very suspicious because it was a very new house. It was built 2 years before prior. They're built with modern wiring.
And to really cause the damage that it did, electrical fire just alone would not make this fire angry like it did.
I remember going to the back porch of the home. There where I found a lighter fluid bottle, and I took it into evidence.
Take a seat like that. Can you give me a rundown of yesterday and what all took place?
All my brothers met at my house, and after that, we was going to my mom's house in Pontotoc in order to have Thanksgiving dinner. So my wife left home first before I did. She went to dinner in Uno to her family's house. So I got a call about 4:26. Is when I actually got the call that my house was fully engulfed in flames.
But did your wife ever call you at any time?
No.
Can you state your wife's name for the record?
Latoria Janae Brownlee.
Okay, how long y'all been married?
18 years. Actually, I was filing for divorce next week.
Did she know about this?
Yes, I had an eviction notice for her.
Right.
We're still in the same roof,
Right.
but I moved on with my life and started, seeing someone else.
And when did all the problems and stuff start occurring?
been occurring for many, many, many years. She tried to actually burn the house down 3 years ago. I didn't actually call the police, but I will go to my grave believing that she done that.
You may run out how you and your niece came in contact yesterday.
We had Thanksgiving dinner, and after the dinner, we left coming to West Point to go to Walmart.
Right.
But when we got in West Point, she said, take me by the house to drop off this food. We went to by the house. This should have been like, what, around 4? And she got out, went in, and she came back out less than 5 minutes, and we went to Walmart. Soon as we got to Walmart, she got a call saying, smoke coming out of your house. And I'm all upset now. I said, well, is your father-in-law in the house? She said, yes. So I really got nervous then. And then I could see smoke from Walmart parking lot in the air.
Right. Basically what you telling me, y'all left from the residence around 4 or 5. Now, the person called 911 at 4:10, saying the house was in flames. And I got a video showing her the house in flames at that time. That room was burning before she left.
Really? She had to sit there and find her.
At 4:11, Latoria makes a post on Facebook about the Black Friday sale. You look at the time span, and it was very odd to me.
All right, you do understand you're still up on the Miranda, so you still willing to speak?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, you left Unum Thursday around what time again?
Around 3:20, 3:30.
You left around 3:20, 3:30. What time you make it to town?
3:55.
All right, what made you go by the house?
They take my plate and I had to use the bathroom. And then I got in the house, took my plate to the kitchen, went to the bedroom to see him. He was in the bedroom. Then I was headed out. Then he asked for a piece of candy, and I gave it to him. And he said, I smell some smoke. I said, I smell some too. And I looked in the utility room, and I ain't see nothing burning or no smoke. And I went to the kitchen, make sure no one on the eye, and I didn't see anything. And I came back in, and I said, I don't know what it is. And that was it, and I left.
How long was you at Walmart?
We was there no time. We pulled up in the parking lot, and we was in the park, and we pulled back out.
Oh, what was the reason for that?
Somebody called.
Did they call on Facebook or on your phone?
Facebook.
It should still be on Facebook. Think you got time to take a look and see? She called you at 4:11.
Okay.
And y'all stayed on the phone about 1 minute and 3 seconds, right?
I guess.
Okay. Was you on Facebook around that time?
Was I on Facebook? I was at Walmart, so I probably not.
You are aware that there's a Facebook post on your page that was made at 4:11 said that you was in Walmart parking lot.
Okay.
You remember making that post?
I don't remember.
From what I'm looking at and from what the fire marshal report is saying, either you wasn't at home at 4 o'clock or you was there when the fire started.
Well, I wasn't there when no fire started because I don't think I
Did you go in the room?
I went in his bedroom.
All right, did you go in his bedroom when you first got to the house or was it right before you left?
I went to the kitchen, then I went to his bedroom.
But you told me you went to the bathroom. That's the reason why I said you went to the bathroom. You never said you didn't use the bathroom.
I didn't use it.
So you lied to me, say like you used the bathroom?
Well, I went to the bathroom and I didn't have to go, so I didn't go.
So after that interview, I could have arrested her, but I didn't want to do it just yet because I knew I needed more evidence for it to stick.
When the fire was intentionally set, somebody poured liquid on the outlet trying to make it look like the outlet had started the fire. But it doesn't go from her being in the house at 4:07, closing the door, walking out, to what you had 2 minutes later from a naturally occurring electrical fire in a wall. It doesn't happen.
We found out there was entry at 4:02 p.m. of that day, and then there was an exit at 4:07 p.m.
This is a tragedy. And it's up to us to figure out what happened. And when the investigators looked at the scene yesterday, they determined that somebody purposely set the fire. And we can't find anybody that was in that house other than you.
I'm getting fed up about it because it seems like y'all harassing me. So ain't nothing else I can say about it.
All right.
What did I have to gain by killing him? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, you tell me.
If I knew who did this, I would say who did it. I'm not gonna go down for somebody, you know what I'm saying? I don't have no idea.
After the final interview with her, we were prepared to go to court with her and the 5 lawyers that she had. I remember when the judge, he asked her, why are you pleading guilty? And she finally said, because I did it. It wasn't a confession we dreamed of, but we got our confession.
We have an unsecured back door. Myself and my friend Jerry are going to go ahead and secure the residence.
Sheriff's office!
You knew Chucky got shot.
I did.
Deputy Cannon and I were responding to a welfare check. Charles Hogue lived alone. There was no indication of anybody actually seeing him.
I started to knock on the door,
Sheriff's office!
and that's when I noticed an elderly man laying face down in the backyard.
Stand by, but he appears to be deceased.
As I came up to the body, he had a single gunshot wound to the back of the head. And both of his arms were folded underneath him, but coming out to one side, which meant his body didn't have a chance to catch himself when he fell, like he'd been struck from behind.
We weren't able to locate any firearm, but we did locate a shell casing. And we knew at that time we had a homicide. We didn't see any signs of forced entry. The home wasn't ransacked, but Mr. Hogue's wallet, his keys, and cell phone were missing. Once we got into his bedroom, we noticed some 9mm pistol ammunition in a drawer, and it did match the shell casing that we found in the backyard. In the guest bathroom, I located a Bulldog brand pistol holster, but we never located any kind of pistol.
So that brought up a red flag. Where was this pistol?
Mr. Hogue's vehicle was found behind a vacated building, and the area that it was in was very grown over. It was parked up against bushes so that it looked like somebody was trying to block it from public view.
The only thing of note that did come from that search was the driver's seat was all the way in the forward position.
We knew that Charles Hogue was tall. The last person driving that vehicle was much shorter than Mr. Hogue was. We located a small local church who just so happened to have security cameras. And we noticed in that midday time frame, Mr. Hogue's truck traveling at a high rate of speed.
It's possible it was the killer that was driving.
We just started cold calling numbers to try to find anybody who had contact with him in the days leading up to his murder. And then I called a number. A female answered the phone. She identified herself as Tara Wilhite. She began telling us that in the weeks prior, she was kicked out of her home and was a bit destitute. And she was walking along a rural highway, and Mr. Hogue came upon her in his vehicle and had asked her if she had needed a ride anywhere. Mr. Hogue told her that he'd be willing to let her stay at his home. I had to inform her Mr. Hogue was found murdered at his home. She became audibly upset We asked her if we could meet with her in person. We felt that she may be able to offer information about things that we saw in the home, particularly the firearm that we were searching for. I know everything's been a little bit crazy, but we appreciate you coming in. So, starting from the day, that you first met Mr. Hogue.
You said it was Sunday, March the 15th?
Yes,
Does that sound
the
right?
15th. I was headed, I guess, towards town, and he stopped and asked if I needed a ride. He had given me his name and asked if I had somewhere to go, and I told him no. And he offered to let me stay at his house.
How long did you stay total?
Through the 21st.
And prior to this, you never knew?
Prior to this, I had not known who he was.
Okay.
Did you see at any time in his vehicle on his person a pistol?
The only time I saw the pistol was in the house.
When was the first time you saw the pistol?
It was in the holster on a dresser right beside the TV.
When we talked on the phone the other day, you mentioned that your fiance, Chris
He's
Brown,
no longer my fiance.
former, that he came out.
We picked him up on the 19th. We were trying to work things out. It wasn't something I wanted to do, because Christopher is very jealous and controlling. I had asked Chucky if we could go get Kristen. Chucky said that was fine, and we ended up him just spending the night.
How tall is Chris?
A little bit taller than me. I want to say like 5'6".
About 5'6". Right. Anybody that you can think of, even your gut telling you, I'm suspicious of this person.
His girlfriend called that morning.
And I know that was something we talked about the other day, that Chucky had met this female online,
Yes.
right? She supposedly lives in Pennsylvania.
And was coming the week of the 25th, but as far as I knew, Chucky did most of his socializing with her through Facebook.
Through Facebook.
We had subpoenaed Mr. Hogue's phone records and social media records as well. We found no records to indicate he was speaking with anyone on Facebook Messenger in Pennsylvania.
There's absolutely no record of him talking to anybody in Pennsylvania on his phone records.
Then why did Chucky tell me that?
He absolutely had no FaceTime conversations, absolutely had no Messenger conversation.
Well, he was on the phone and he told me it was his girlfriend and she was Vietnamese.
My point is, as we come into this conversation, I want you to know we've done our homework at this point.
I'm aware of that.
When his truck was recovered, the driver's seat was moved all the way up. So whoever drove that truck last was shorter.
Y'all ain't thinking it's me, and you don't have to say it. But I did not kill Chucky.
But I think you know who did. Or I think you know more than what you're telling us.
No, I don't know who did.
Have you been to Chucky's house before?
No.
You haven't?
Not before when Sarah was there and I stayed the night.
I'm just going to lay it out on the table and ask you if you had anything to do with Mr. Hogue's.
No, sir, I did not.
How tall are you, Chris?
5'7".
You want to take a wild guess as far as how tall the person was that was driving Mr. Hogue's truck?
No, sir.
He was between 5'6" and 5'7".
Tara put me up to.
Okay. Can you tell me about that?
We were supposed to go over there and just grab a few things to go sell. And it got out of hand. I walked back in, used the bathroom, and to grab a few things. And
What'd you grab?
It was a .45 pistol. And we stepped out, and he was out back. I started taking off, and he said, "Hey, can you come here?" I was holding the gun, and my finger was on the trigger, and I didn't mean to shoot.
I'm gonna just sit this in your office.
Yeah.
He did take us out to the creek there behind the residence. We get to this body of water, and Chris Brown points to the water. We find Mr. Hogue's wallet and the keys to his vehicle, and a 9mm handgun.
We have footage of Chucky's truck leaving his house after the murder.
I was there, but I didn't know what happened. I promise I didn't do anything.
Okay, so let me introduce myself. Heather Meadows. I am his boss. I am the one that decides if you walk out of here in handcuffs and get charged with capital murder. Me. Normal, decent human beings don't want to lie. They want to get it off their chest. They want to be able to have a clear conscience.
I do, but I don't want to be in trouble for something I didn't do.
But you know what you did do that you don't want to admit because you know it makes you feel like is that you knew Chucky got shot.
I did.
Look at me. I know you heard it.
That gave us the probable cause that we could arrest her as a co-conspirator to the homicide. Tara Wilhite and Chris Brown are fairly unassuming individuals. I don't think anybody would suspect them of being cold-hearted murderers. And that's what makes them that much more dangerous. And I don't think that they should ever be released.
Did you know what she did? No, I didn't. Don't hold back.
You're not good at lying.
When I arrived, there was 2 people on the front porch and blood everywhere. Both victims looked as though they had been shot and were obviously deceased. The reporting party told me that they had a daughter. She was found in the bathroom of the home, uninjured. Alex had several gunshot wounds to the head. Brianna had 2 gunshot wounds. Alex had an empty holster on his right side and a Glock handgun laying between them near his right hand.
There was an idea that he might have expected that there was going to be a problem, that he was going to have to defend himself.
It was fully loaded, so we knew it wasn't a murder weapon. But I noticed a large amount of 9mm shell casings in and around the victims' bodies. We were able to see a small economy-style vehicle around the same time as the murders.
She didn't ask about her daughter. She didn't ask any questions about the crime. Do you know anything about any of that?
No, I was working all night.
And you, just to be clear, what was your shift last night?
My shift was 6 p.m. till 1:30-ish. I usually stay and hang out for a little bit before I leave. When I got home, I was exhausted.
Right.
Didn't take long before I fell asleep.
She didn't seem shocked. She didn't seem worried or concerned. It was suspicious.
Alex and Teresa were not on good terms. There were associated claims regarding mistreatment of their daughter that each was making against the other.
Teresa Cox had reported a 9mm handgun stolen from her vehicle. This really stuck out to me, as the shell casings at the crime scene were 9mm shell casings.
And then there was a subpoena that was served on Teresa's phone number. Text messages were discovered between her and Mixie that appeared to be planning the homicide. Mixie was talking about needing to get her head in the right space for what's gonna happen tomorrow, which was sent on Thursday when the homicide occurred overnight on Friday. Also, it had previous messages between her and Mixie. Mixie is confronting Teresa and saying, "You want me to kill someone?" Teresa seems like the mastermind. I think she realized Mixie was willing to do things for her and was able to manipulate Mixie into pulling the trigger and killing Alex and Brianna.
Did her girlfriend show up that day or that night anytime?
Not that I remember.
Okay. Was there anything different about Teresa that Friday night?
No.
Matt told me that Tree was with him until they all left at 4:10. And the girlfriend got there about like 2.
So Matt said to the police that Teresa went home after work. And Matt told you Teresa hung out with him all night. And he took her home.
I don't know why he would have said opposite things, but Tree was there just as late as he was. Her girlfriend didn't get there until a little earlier before they left.
It did not seem like Ariel was in any way involved in this, but we believed that Matthew Plum could be hiding something.
And so Friday, what happened?
Friday night, Tree said her car was breaking down. She come in and told me that she had to let it sit because the transmission was overheating or getting hot or something. I didn't really.
And Teresa's with you?
Until like 1:15, and then she left.
Each time he would tell even a small lie, he would kind of wave his lie off by giving me the hand signal, I just lied to you.
Whatever's in your mind right now, you need to tell us.
Mixie showed up at work right around 2 o'clock.
What did Mixie tell you?
She was saying something about she did something horrible.
You don't like the type of crap where people get gunned down?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
I think there's a lot more to this conversation than you're letting us know still.
She didn't really tell me anything.
Is it because you already knew what she did, she didn't have to tell you?
You knew it was going to happen?
That was a yes. That was a yes.
It was. Okay, so you already knew.
Okay, you already knew. Got it.
Can I have a cigarette first?
Yes, absolutely. Not in here. You got to go outside.
About 2 weeks ago, before this happened,
okay,
asking me if I knew where she could get a throwaway gun.
You're talking about Teresa?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told her no, I don't.
Sure.
About a day later, she tells me that she has a gun. She was upset about everything going on.
Right.
And then she started talking to me about wanting to do it on a certain day. I'm like, well, if you're actually going to do it, do it. But I don't really want involved. If you're going to be at work, hey, there's your alibi.
Right. What did they do with the gun?
That I do not know.
Okay.
So the plan, was that something that you and Teresa discussed?
Teresa discussed with me the plan.
And was Mixie any part of that plan that you heard or you saw? Or was it just you and Teresa?
Just me and Teresa.
Okay. So was part of the plan then for Mixie to do the terrible thing? Okay.
I told Teresa if you wanted to get rid of a gun, Rutledge Wilson was a good place to go.
If you got rid of the gun, please don't hold back. If you did that.
Yeah, I did.
We got in the car and Matt took us to the location where he had thrown both the gun and the magazine. As soon as we were at the location, the Missouri State Highway Patrol dive team was able to locate the gun.
The firearm matched the serial number that Teresa Cox had reported as stolen.
We learned they hitched a ride with a trucker into Joplin and left the state.
We obtained a search warrant for Teresa Cox's residence. We located a portable safe in the closet. We found a Smith & Wesson handgun magazine. The casings had S&B 9x19 20, the same head stamp found at the crime scene. Also, we received information from Teresa Cox's phone.
Her internet search history was showing things like, what's the easiest way to kill people? How do you report a gun stolen? And then you also have things about how to go on the run.
Teresa didn't want to speak without her lawyer present, and so an interview with Teresa wasn't ever established. But Mixie was willing to speak with us. When did you meet Teresa, Mixie?
Early July. She just saw me sitting by myself one day, and she came up and she sat down and started talking to me, and she admitted to me that people said to kind of steer clear of me because I was weird.
Did you shoot Alex and Brianna?
No, sir. I don't know anything about any of that.
Mixie, tell me why you couldn't have done this.
It's just not a thing that I'm willing to do. I was out getting drunk with my friends anyway.
Who were you drinking with that night?
I think I'm done with questions. I just want to go back up to my cell.
There was a recording that Brianna took on her cell phone on the night of the murder. You can hear her talking to someone. I recognize the voice to be Mixie's voice.
I'd just rather reveal it to you guys in person.
Let me call him and see when he's going to be home.
Mixie was luring Alex back home. He was originally supposed to work from 4 p.m. till midnight, but he left an hour early. He told a co-worker that his girlfriend Brianna was alone and he was afraid for her, and that's why he had a handgun on him at the crime scene.
Teresa Cox pleaded guilty to first-degree murder, second-degree murder, and 2 counts of armed criminal action.
I didn't know exactly what happened.
I truthfully don't know.
I don't believe that's true.
I received a call from our dispatch to check on the well-being of Mr. Wilson. The front door was unlocked. Walking into the back bedroom, we located Mr. Wilson on the bed. There was a lot of dried blood coming out of his mouth, down his chest. It had pooled in his lap and also under his head.
There was blood clearly on the ceiling and wall and soaking the mattress. It looked like he had been inside the home for a few days, deceased.
We found that Steve was stabbed 4 times in the back and shoulders, and then 4 times in the neck and head area. The fatal wound was to his spine.
The stab wounds were, so severe they broke through bones.
There was no forced entry at the residence, but we did locate some watch boxes that were emptied out on the vanity.
I noticed that all of the cigarette butts were white Marlboro cigarette butts, but when I opened the lid to the ashtray and the cup holder, there was one brown, cool cigarette butt. I believe that it had to have been recent. The DNA from the cigarette butt may point us towards a suspect. The one thing that stood out were some Cash App transfers to a person named Daniel Diamond around the time that we believe he died. We learned that she was an escort that Steve Wilson liked to frequent, and she would come to his house. And just a Google search located some selfie photographs of a white female with red hair. We entered into a mugshot recognition program, and we were able to match it to Paige Lane.
Paige had an extensive criminal history. She was an escort, and she frequents hotels around St. Louis County area. I also found body camera video with her.
Police department. Is there anybody else in here?
Yeah,
Who is in there?
my boyfriend.
There was a black male in a room with her with the name of Sydney Bias.
You have a probation violation. We got to give you a new court date. And I know you're also soliciting.
Sydney Bias had an extensive criminal history of violence and drug-related offenses. He was a documented gang member with Gangster Disciples, and he goes by the name of King. We believe that he was Paige Lane's pimp.
A mile away from Stephen Wilson's house in Wentzville, Paige was seen at the gas station. When the tags were ran, we came up with the name of Sydney Bias as the owner of the vehicle.
We discovered she had purchased a pack of cigarettes. We recognized immediately that the cigarettes that were recovered on scene matched the same pack of cigarettes that she had just purchased. Shortly after that, we found a text message from her to an unknown number stating, "I'm going to kill him." The DNA was a match to Paige Lane. We put all manpower into locating her.
We found Steve had text conversations with Paige Lane to the fact that he had given her money to help out with her children. I think he almost thought that they were like boyfriend and girlfriend.
But in the recent weeks, Steve Wilson seemed pretty upset. He accused her of leading him on to gain more money from him. And then shortly after that, we had messages sent by Steve asking other people to post negative reviews on her escort ads between the two of them. That would definitely be a motive to kill Steve. Police units converged on their vehicle, and we were able to take Sydney and Paige Lane into custody.
This has something to do with solicitation or something?
So what, man?
It's a little bit more serious than solicitation. Okay.
You know what's that right here?
I don't. Never ever. Never ever seen that, man. Never. You never seen it? I don't know, but we're investigating homicide. Okay, I'm not involved in no homicide with nobody. This person right here? I don't even know him.
What's the right with you, buddy?
He was not intent on cooperating in any fashion, but we wanted to keep him to see if any information would come to light from Paige's interview.
So do you guys live together or stay together? Did you ride with them today? Do you ride with them often, or?
No, not really.
Okay. There's no other friends of yours that maybe give you some money or help you out financially?
Yeah, I was like a sugar daddy for a while, I guess you could say, quote unquote.
Who was that?
So, his name is Steve, and I don't know his last name though. When did I go see him? Maybe February? Was the last time I seen him.
And this is the same person we're talking about right here?
Yeah.
She says that she last met with Steve in February, but we know that she was meeting with him in March and getting money from him in March. We knew she was lying the whole time right off the get-go.
Like, he messaged a whole bunch of girls, like other workers, and told them to set me up, to beat me up, to beat me up, to she robbed me, no. And girls are calling me,
girls set you up to beat you up?
Yeah.
Right when he brings up about we're investigating something with Steve, then all of a sudden both shoes come flying off. The nervous twitches with her are all over the place. Most people that are innocent, they're not so fidgety,
I'm just telling you that if you're saying you never went in the house at night, the evidence inside that house from your DNA suggests otherwise. I believe you do, though.
But I don't.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab your phone, okay?
Okay.
So at this point, I asked Detective Sergeant Meyer to be part of the interview. He has more of a softer approach. The both of us in there together, maybe she would feel like she had somebody on her side.
I'm sure you guys never talked about this.
No, yeah.
When you went out there at the end of March, beginning of April, you were with a friend.
Yeah, she no, she didn't know that.
Paige, who was this with?
That's what I swear I'm not gonna lie. I'm not lying.
We need to find the story that actually fits the facts, and that's what we're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? I'll meet you at first.
We gotta get past your story, okay? The story is broken. It doesn't fit. That's science talking. That's not me thinking this or him thinking that. That's science. Okay?
I saw him earlier that day. I popped up and saw him.
Okay.
That's it.
Did he give you anything when you were there?
No.
Anything at all?
No.
There's some watches, I guess, in your hotel room?
Yes.
Whose are those?
They are in here.
What do you think the odds of those watches having Steve's DNA on them are? What happened?
I've been hurting so many lately. And so I went to go take the visit.
Were you by yourself or were you with you?
I was by myself. And like you told me, like, come over here, you know, you send me $100. Like I said, I don't do anything for $100. You bitch, and came towards, like, he grabbed one of his knives and he came towards me and I put my arm up and I cut.
He came at you and cut you and you pulled your knife.
I pulled mine out and like when I pulled mine out, like I hit, you know, not like accidentally because I was like defending myself, but like I hit him like on the side of his neck.
Did you think about calling the police or the ambulance or anything?
Yeah.
When you're worried about getting in trouble?
I left and the watches he had stuff like backed up like on the side or whatever. I know some of my blood got on that bag from like when I turned, and that's why I grabbed the bag.
Where are the clothes you were wearing?
I threw them away.
Where at?
In a dumpster downtown.
We're telling the truth now, we're on the right track?
Yeah. Like, he doesn't know.
We were able to determine she acted alone.
Kubu 100, please. Kubu.
She took Mr. Wilson's life, and she's got to pay her time for that.
There's a sense of relief. That confession was earned. You can never bring nobody back, but you can do what you can to put the person that did it in prison for as long as you can.
I just got home and I opened the door and my husband's dead on the floor. Is he awake? I don't know. I can't do it. I can't look.
That morning, I was dispatched to a call of what's called an investigated death. That's where someone dies outside of a doctor's care. And when I showed up at the house, Kelly Baker was sitting on the front steps out of the house. Kelly told me that she had come over to the house expecting her husband, Randy, not to be home and at work. She had gone in the house and had found her husband on the floor. Kelly told me that Randy was suffering from some serious health conditions, and she thought Randy might have passed away due to some cardio issues.
They announced that there were 2 bullets in Randy's body. One was in his skull, and another had been shot into his chest.
Do you mind sitting on one of these chairs on the left, just because they're recording?
What's always important is when that occasion comes to reveal how he died, to observe and document the reactions of the person you're talking to.
So you're separated. What was the reason for the separation?
Randy was very sick, and he's been very sick for a long time. He had cardiomyopathy, and he was diagnosed in 2003. He's been in and out of the hospital, and I did tell him, don't call me a bitch. You know, I'm taking care of you. I'm feeding you. I'm taking care of your clothes, your house, your car.
Okay.
And then I just said at that point, I'm done.
She's putting her dead husband in a bad light, which is the last thing I think someone in that situation would do. And I was really surprised by that.
Am I just waiting here for a second? Do you need to use the bathroom or coffee or water or anything? All right.
Kelly? Hi, I'm John. How are you? So, just a quick introduction. I'm a detective at the police department. Okay, and I want to explain to you. Okay, your husband is a victim of a homicide. Okay, so that is why I'm asking a lot of tough questions right now, and that is why I'm going to ask you for your phone. Okay, so I'm sorry to be the person that has to tell you that.
She appeared to start crying. However, Detective John Kinney would notice no tears. I was extremely suspicious of her at that point.
The reason we asked you to come down is one, we just wanted to check in with you, see how things are going. Well, for the most part, it's kind of it's a whodunit, quite honestly. Until the evening of Tuesday, August 15th. Do you have any recollection what time you left the house?
I went over there at 6:30 and I was there 5 minutes at the most. I just went in there, got the laundry, put the dog away, and then that was it. I always helped out with everything with my brother being sick. And
all right. Did the door stay open while you were in the house?
No, I'm not positive. But since I got older, I can't remember things.
Part of this investigation is looking at cell phones, so I'm going to have to take your cell phone. I'm sure Kelly told you we took hers for a little while. You're just next in line, that's all.
Yeah.
Carol was, by all appearances, extremely helpful in answering any questions with law enforcement. At this point, we have no indication that she was involved.
Both Carol and Kelly deleted their cell phone text history the day that Randy Baker's murdered. But even if it's deleted, a lot of times things are still on there.
In the coming days, we would recover a lot of cell phone data. Carol and Kelly had an extremely close connection. It was astronomical, the number of text messages exchanged between the two in any given day. Around the end of July, Carol sent a phone number to Kelly.
And that phone number comes back to a person named Kelly Raisley, who goes by the moniker Grizz. And it turns out Kelly Raisley is Carol Baker's son. There's comments like, yes, he'll do it. I promise you he'll do it. Talks of he'll do it for $10,000 or a Harley Davidson. It appears he was intimately involved in this homicide, and Kelly and Carol were behind all this. I've never seen anything like it where someone's own sister and wife conspire to kill him and get his nephew to do it.
We went into the interview room and unfortunately forgot to turn on the video. Why did you wipe your phone clean?
I don't even know.
You know, the funny thing about cell phones, even though you press delete, a lot of stuff stays inside of them. And in Kelly Baker's phone, a lot of the stuff she deleted stayed there. She discussed murdering Randy with you. Why would she do this? Why would she kill him? Wait for him to die.
She has been for 14 years.
And she just didn't want to wait any longer?
So he was unbelievable to live with.
When we were in the room watching it live, one of the other officers looked up and said, "The light's not on. It's recording sound, but not picture." So one of the other officers quickly turned on the video.
When we've been talking, you know that they planned this out. You said that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess my questions now are kind of, what role did you play in Randy's murder?
I think I need an attorney.
You do? Okay. Well, you're under arrest for first-degree murder and conspiracy to first-degree murder. You're going to be processed, transported to the Will County Jail, booked in.
So now we have Kelly Baker, Carol Baker, and Kelly Raisley in custody for this. But An arrest does by no means halt the investigation.
Months later, Kelly Raisley ended up sending me a few letters. And it's clear he wants to talk to me and provide information on what happened.
Were you approached ultimately and talked about what you get paid for doing this?
I was approached through my mom, but it was via Kelly will give you the $10,000.
Okay.
And Randy's a motorcycle.
And so how do you know specifically that Kelly Baker wanted your help in killing Randy?
Paraphrasing, it'd be that she couldn't take it anymore, that it was basically either him or her, and she was willing to do anything.
To kill him?
To get rid of him.
He said that he was very, very close to Randy growing up. He was the only father figure Grizz ever had. But these two women convinced him that Randy was abusive.
My mom became trapped in the middle of whatever she was being fed from Kelly. I feel like I got played.
Did these ladies think they were going to get away with this?
Apparently, yeah.
Kelly Raisley pled guilty to first-degree murder and got sentenced to life without parole. Carol Baker pled guilty to conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. She received 30 years in prison. And Kelly Baker was made no offer. We tried her. She was found guilty of first-degree murder and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder and is serving life without parole in the prison.
Anybody who could orchestrate another person's death, especially utilizing somebody's own family member, is a psychopath. I'm thrilled to know that Kelly Baker will never see daylight again as a free person, nor her nephew, and nor will Carol.
County 911 location of emergency. What's your name? Can you hear me?
"911 gets a call, and there's a voice on the phone saying, help, it's garbled, they're trying to figure out exactly what's going on.
I have an officer there, but you have to go to the door. Can you hear me?
Uniformed patrol deputies get there, they're trying to make contact. It's late, it's dark, they can't hear anything. They do a safety sweep of the house to try to locate if there's been a crime.
You could see blood all over the ground and a trail of blood that led up to the front of the house. I approached the house and could see bloody handprints down the wall, all over the threshold of the door. Opening the door, there was just a large pool of blood. You could tell that someone had been laying on the ground in that blood. We located a female on her bed, covered in blood, and she had a gunshot wound to her face.
They begin life-saving measures with her.
You could see a gunshot that went through the window directly behind the chair.
The projectiles were there, but there was no weapons found on the property. We weren't sure still exactly what had happened. The only person that can tell us is the victim.
Angie, can you hear me? You able to write down? Did you do this to yourself? Who had the gun? Okay, this is very important. What is his name? Sue knew him? Okay.
Is this the guy that worked for you out at Mom's house?
I learned that Sue was an acquaintance of Angie and had gotten her in contact with a male that had come and done some work at her house. She was able to identify him as David Wolgamoth.
Once we were able to confirm that she was stating that a subject did this to her was the first time that we were 100% confident that we were in a manhunt now, and the clock was ticking.
He was standing right outside one of the entrances. As soon as we were able to confirm that it was him, we took him into custody. He was definitely not happy that we had caught up with him.
Okay. Just for everybody's safety, I'm going to check you one more time before we take the handcuffs off of you, okay?
All right, David. My name's Lieutenant Clark with Sheriff's Office. I'm gonna go ahead and record this that way and gotta take a whole bunch of notes or anything, okay? So, this is Sergeant Hands.
How are you, sir?
We want to be able to talk to you about an incident that happened here recently. All right. You said you were working, the last odd job that you had was up at, you said Angie's house in Ball Ground. When was the last time that you worked up there?
Probably something like that. Probably something like a week ago. I don't know. Can I ask you a question?
Sure. Yeah.
How did y'all find me?
Y'all are a lot quicker than I thought.
What do you mean we're a lot quicker than?
Y'all are a lot quicker than I thought.
Tell me what happened last night.
We started realizing the magnitude of what was happening to him. So now was the time to back down. I want him to not look at us as adversaries. I want to be his friend. And that's just rapport building 101.
Here's what we're trying to do. We're trying to understand what all happened.
I don't really know where to start. I just couldn't.
Hey, David, look, why don't you start where you want to with it and just tell us the whole thing?
I'm gonna put it in general terms and kind of put it from my point of view. My fiance needed money. She's very clingy. She didn't want me to be gone all the time, but she wanted money at the same time. So I made her happy to the best of my ability.
Okay. How much money would you say?
It's gotta be like something like $7,000 now.
So you're supporting a big chunk of her living expenses.
Yeah.
Kid, that's a huge responsibility.
Yeah. But she's saying, get it fast, get it done. And I explained to her, I don't want to do this. I don't want, have to do something illegal to, get money. But, you want me to do it in a way that's like impossible, and you're like threatening to like leave me. And here I am looking, 2 years of my life is gonna go down the drain. You know what I mean?
He's literally portraying himself as the victim in this scenario. It turns your stomach in that room.
I know. I know it's hard, man, and I know you're not okay with it. I can see that. You're good. Take your time.
I went up there, and his parents, she was asleep or whatever. It was dark and everything. Of course, it was like 11:30, 11:18, something like that, somewhere in there. I was like, okay, so I just knocked on her door, and I was just like, oh, hey, ma'am, I'm really hungry. I know it's late. Can you try to give me something to eat? And she was like, what are you doing here? Because we had some kind of issue. I can't remember what exactly it was. It was just like a lot of people, she just decided out of nowhere she just didn't like me for whatever dumbass reason. No reason at all, really, but...
Well, how long did you work for Angie?
Like 2 days.
Okay.
3 days, something like that.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. So you're at the door.
So she went to just close the door, and like it sounded like she locked it, but I don't know, I guess instinctually I just knew it wasn't, and I just pushed it open, and I seen she was just sitting there on the couch, and she's like, you need some food, you have some food. I'm like, no, bitch, I'm here for your money. She's like, I ain't got nothing. So I just shot her in the face, and then she was sitting there leaning like this, and I was just so upset because I even had to do this that I just pistol whipped her in the face. The gun accidentally went off and she finally fell down, so I might have shot her a third time. I'm not entirely sure.
Put her stand up for me, sir. Go ahead and step this way.
Manner of death is undetermined. When I read that, I was and am still astounded.
When she did finally come to my office and come to court, she was on a walker. She had an oxygen machine. It was hard to speak to her. There was really not much quality of life for her left after this. But she was, at that point, I think, determined to make sure that someone understood what had happened. She was willing to stand up and make sure that he didn't do this to anybody else.
It's just rough sometimes. You know, I still have dreams, things like that, and it's hard. Angie was my second mom, not only an aunt, but somebody that was there as well to, you know, help me grow up and help me raise right. I guess the biggest thing is just that I miss her.
There's no obvious signs of trauma, but there's drag marks in the ditch, footprints, tire tracks. Seems like this dude was dead before he got here and they dumped him in the ditch.
We were all kind of getting ready to go home, and then the call came in. At that point in time, all we had was an individual basically lying on the side of the road, obviously deceased. This was a remote road way out in the middle of nowhere. Somebody specifically, purposefully had to come down this road and dump this body.
The state of his body was in full rigor. He hadn't started decomposition. There were no bugs present on or around him. So it was fairly fresh. It was probably within 12 hours from the time he was killed.
We started looking at social media and just immediately realized that this was not Nathaniel Jackson. This was his brother, Levante Jackson.
It had rained that day, and the ground was soft, and there was obvious tire tracks leading up to where the body was dumped, and we could see that he was drugged and dropped on the side of the road.
There's a pudding cup with fresh pudding on the ground that's not deteriorated very much. Pudding dries out after a while.
We didn't know if it was related or not related at the time, but we went ahead and seized it.
Our next step was to find out who he associates with. And what we did determine is that he had a girlfriend and the mother of his child, Chelsea Martin.
Once we got her in, I felt really good that she was not involved in his death whatsoever. Chelsea started telling us he had been not running with the greatest crowd of people, so to speak, including this female named Lydia Riggs. basically pointing out that Levante had last been seen with Lydia.
Lydia had texted that herself, Wonder Bread, and David were all there when the murder took place. Lydia said she was there in Wonder's room when Levante died. We learned that Zachary Whitcomb was a 19-year-old petty criminal. He had been in trouble for small stuff before. David Adair was a 26-year-old convicted felon with a history of violence. Lydia Riggs was the girlfriend of David Adair. Our confidential source told us once they realized that Levante was dead, the suspects all began to panic. The only person they knew they could persuade to help them get rid of the body was Mark Brannon.
He wanted to talk to me and kind of clear his name, I guess.
Just have a seat right there. Where's your car at now?
Honestly, man, I don't know. I'm worried that I'm gonna get in trouble for something I didn't do, and honestly, man, to be honest,
I'm
I
just
don't care
asking
about
you,
that
dude,
anymore.
where the car's at.
Even though,
I mean, okay, let me ask you this. If you're in my position, right, we meet up with you, and ironically, that car is not with you.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna look bad, right?
So, because to me, it looks like you're trying to hide evidence.
After I got Mark's vehicle, we were able to identify his tires to tire impressions on the crime scene. In the back, we found that pudding cup, which we were able to relate to the pudding cup that we located at the crime scene.
All right, man. So here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna hold on to the car because that was used in that incident.
I understand.
Okay? You understand that part?
I understand completely. I'm always trying to help people, man. That's all I ever try to do. I mean that,
Right.
like from the bottom of my heart. That's all I ever try to do.
Right. Who called you?
It was Wonder Bread.
Wonder Bread called you?
I don't even know his real name. I had met Wonder Bread maybe 2 weeks before. One time, I had met David the day before, and I knew Lydia was there, and I wanted to protect her because I knew she didn't need to be around those people, man.
So what happened after you got there?
I pulled in, and they told me to back up, and they were gonna put clothes in the back, and they did. They put a bunch of clothes, and they put a big duffel bag and all this.
Okay. So they told you to come to that house. Okay. They tell you why?
They did not tell me.
They never gave you a reason to come?
They never did.
You never asked?
I swear, no.
But at no point they told you where they were going?
No, I swear, no. They did not. Until we passed a dirt road, did they even tell me that we were going to go down a dirt road. And
Okay.
until we were right there and said, hey, we're going to go for a walk. Stop the car. They got their stuff and they told me to go down, wait 5 minutes, and come back up. And so I went down and I sat there with Lydia for a minute, just like calming her, like saying, everything's going to be all right. Like, why are you crying? And she wouldn't tell me anything.
So Lydia was crying in the car? Where were the other two?
They were off with their bags.
So, whenever you're talking with Lydia, what did she tell you?
Nothing. She didn't tell me anything about this. She said, I'm scared, I'm scared. And I thought she meant, I'm scared of them.
You have your phone on you?
Yeah, but it's dead.
Well, let me see it. We can charge it.
That's okay.
It's not a big deal, dude.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Here, the best way this is gonna go down, dude, is if you're gonna be transparent with me, okay? Because I'm trying to be transparent with you,
yes, sir.
but right now I'm getting a lot of whenever you're
No,
telling me
it's
that
not-
phone's
it's
dead.
just the phone dead thing.
The only way I can help you is if you are very transparent with me and you're honest with me, okay? When did you realize that there was a body in the back of your car?
The next day. Like, I knew it somehow. I just knew.
You're gonna be arrested and you're gonna be charged with abuse of a corpse.
Abuse of a corpse? What's that mean?
It means you had the chance to call 911 and you failed to do that.
Go ahead and stand up.
Yes, sir. May I get a drink?
Get a drink. Place your hands right there on that wall.
Let's just go back from the beginning, kind of just the facts of what happened, what you saw, what you know.
I had a bandana in my pocket, and David tells Levante,
get my flag. And Levante gets up, so I stand up. And me and Levante start wrestling.
David Adair told Levante to take Zachary's flag, which is his gang handkerchief. It's a sign of disrespect.
Was Levante like straddled you on top of you, holding you down? Was he holding your arms down, or was he holding your face down?
He held my arms. And then David hopped on. He just came around with the chokehold. And then Lydia jumped on too to help quiet his feet because I was getting thrown around. We put a gag in his mouth so he couldn't scream. And we put him sleeping bag to him on the back porch, and we started making phone calls for a ride. I always know this happened.
No, man.
David finally had gone home to crash, and his mom called in to the sheriff's office because they had been to her house before. Our guys went in, secured David without incident.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. There's tissues there if you need tissue.
But after they put Levante on the floor, he started choking him out. And they kept saying, stop, stop, stop. And trying to get them to both stop. And then I wasn't big enough to get him to stop. Levante kept telling him to stop. And David untied him, and they tried to give Levante CPR, and it just wouldn't work.
What if I told you Wonder Bread's story wasn't quite the same as yours, that you were a little more involved?
What?
Did you sit on him?
I put my knee on him when I was trying to get David off. That's what I did.
You just put your weight on his legs to make him keep his legs down?
On one.
You helped kill this guy.
Me, Lydia, and Zach, we were in the bedroom. We were all doing a bump. I don't know what the Zach wanted to do.
Right. But at some point you jumped in.
I was trying to wake him up.
Okay. Do you remember what Lydia was doing?
She was sitting on the bed and then she jumped on with us.
Okay. So you went limp?
Yeah.
Okay. You choked him out?
I choked him out. I choked him out.
David Adair pled guilty to second-degree murder and received 30 years in prison. Lydia Riggs pled guilty to second-degree murder and received 15 years in prison. Zachary Whitcomb pled guilty to second-degree murder and got 20 years in prison. And Mark Brandon pled guilty to evidence tampering, abuse of a corpse, and hindering apprehension and received 20 years in prison.
Shortly after 8 a.m., we received a dispatch of a missing person. I was only about 4 blocks away from the house where I was dispatched to meet with Miss Neely. Upon my arrival, she explained that she had not heard from or seen her daughter, Tiffany, since the previous day. All calls to her cell phone were going unanswered.
Tiffany's mom was very anxious because this was just so not normal.
The text messages that we received indicated that Sam Littleton was the last individual to speak with her. We learned Sam Littleton was Tiffany's mother, Deb Neely's boyfriend. They'd been together for 15 years, and Tiffany, of course, always knew Sam. So there was a parental relationship there with him. We had tried numerous times to get in contact with him. We couldn't locate Sam anywhere.
They had asked Deb if they could take a look around the house.
Detective Salyer and I went down the basement and took a look around. There was an area of the basement that was covered in debris. We started taking everything apart down there. That's when Tiffany's body was located. The body was partially clothed and wrapped in a large piece of carpeting. The apparent cause of death seemed to be a knife wound to the neck. There was multiple stab wounds and other indications of maybe asphyxiation. At this point, it was pretty clear to us that Deb had no involvement.
Sam Littleton became the prime suspect, and now he's missing.
Richard and Gladys Russell were an elderly couple that lived just outside the city of Bellefontaine. One of the neighbors had gone to the Russells' house and noticed that their vehicle was missing from the garage. They continued the investigation, and they were able to find a notepad. Mrs. Russell was very good at taking notes and keeping records, but there was no other entries made after the 16th. Looking into the notepad, we found it had the name Sam written on it, and underneath the name Sam was Sam Littleton's cell phone number. Now that we know that there's a connection, we're extremely concerned. We believe that he's probably in their vehicle and might have the Russells with him.
37-year-old Samuel Littleton is wanted for the murder of 26-year-old Tiffany Brown of Bellefontaine, Ohio, and linked to the disappearance of an elderly couple, Richard and Gladys Russell. A desperate plea from the family of a murder suspect.
We need you to come in. Just turn yourself in.
The suspect's father is clearly overwhelmed with emotion.
They began searching the area not too far from the store where the car was parked. They found Sam Littleton. He suddenly fled from them.
As when we continued our search, we found he had built a makeshift cave.
Basically a primitive camp where he had been hiding out.
After maybe an hour, Sam Littleton was apprehended by a West Virginia State Police K-9.
The fugitive had been on the run since February the 18th. Littleton was taken to a local hospital before being transported to the state police barracks in Princeton.
Sam, obviously, we've got a million questions for you. And we realized, through this investigation, things went really wrong at some point. We just ask that you help us out, help yourself out, man.
I really don't know how it got started. I think evil thoughts all the time.
Evil thoughts all the time?
All the time. I mean, that's why I keep myself away from people.
Okay.
I mean, there ain't 1 minute that I don't sit here and think about how to snap somebody's neck, crush their head. I mean, there's many, many times I could have just cut my stepmom up. Why would people think of that? I deserve to die. I deserve to die.
You need to feel better about yourself, and the only way you're ever going to do that is to tell what happened. And all three of us know that you're a smart enough guy and you know exactly what happened. Is this something easy to talk about? Absolutely not.
I'm trying to make him feel like we believe he's a good person. He's got to be comfortable with us. He's got to think that we like him. If we like him, he's going to like us.
Sam, remember, the very first thing that you told us when we sat down was, I deserve to die for what I've done. That tells us you know what you did. Can you tell me what happened with Tiffany that day?
Right, Chad.
You gonna get sick?
Yeah.
Need some more water too, or?
Please.
I've never had a suspect get physically ill during an interview before. He doesn't want to relive that event. He just doesn't want to talk about those things because it makes him physically ill. Everything about him is telling us that he just wants to give up. We spoke to Sam's father before to let him know what we were trying to do. He was there to get Sam to tell us exactly what happened.
Mr. Littleton, if you can seat there.
Sam, I love you. I didn't mean to bring this all on you. I don't know why. I don't know why. I wish you'd have come to your daddy with it. Years ago, boy. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I don't mean to bring this on you, but this probably could be the last time I get to see you, so. I know it. And these guys probably went out of their way just to have you come in here.
Having the father in the room there may have been a turning point. Sam was talking with us more freely. It seemed like he wanted to tell his dad, but he didn't know how to tell his dad.
I'm so sorry, man. I know it. You know, Hogue?
Absolutely. Sam, are you okay with that?
I love you.
Pretty sore, Sam.
Mommy, I would.
I'm going to be as direct as I can possibly be. Regarding Tiffany, how did you kill her?
I think I strangled her.
Okay. Any other type of weapon that you used?
I think I might have stabbed her once or twice.
And the Russells, did you strangle both of those two?
I mean, I'm strangled. I ain't for sure.
Can you tell us if it was after you left the house or whether it was still there at the house?
I think it was at the house.
We finally got his confession that he killed them. At this point, the only thing we don't know is exactly where the Russells are located.
Sam, is there any way we can recover their bodies?
Railroad tracks and a cotton field.
Railroad tracks and a cotton field. Do you think one body is by the railroad tracks and one by the cotton field, or do you think?
Yeah.
Outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee, local law enforcement were able to find the remains of Dick Russell. He was next to some railroad tracks covered in debris. A week later, Gladys Russell was found in Georgia. He had laid Gladys in a cotton field a few hundred miles south of where Dick Russell had been located. We have mixed emotions. He never gave us the exact reason why things happened, why he decided to kill the Russells, and why he decided to kill Tiffany, and I'm sure it haunts her family to this day.